What's going on now, Ammonites? So, it's a story time. Well, it was brought to my attention that I wanted to share this with you because we all might have had this type of situation. Well, for me, if you haven't, I want to express and explain to you what I went through. Now, this was in, I want to say, 2009. Yeah, I want to say about 2009. I believe that was the time that I was in Red Granite. Or was it, yeah, that was the time that I was in Red Granite. And at that time, being in Red Granite, I didn't receive no correspondence. I was financially struggling. I wasn't eating much because I didn't like the food. And with what I was going through mentally, I was spiritually being in a state of severe depression. Now, I went through so much and endured so much being in Red Granite, feeling lonely, feeling alone. Many nights I was hungry. That the little funds that I did have, when it came to Roman noodles, it came time where I had to break that Roman noodle in half and was eating on a half a noodle. Save the other noodle for the other day. Yeah. I wasn't trying to reach out to nobody because I was replicated. Stubbornness. But even though being stubbornness, I'm like, at that time, my family, people know I'm away. People know I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. Woo, 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 wee, me. So, I went and had my shower, right? Went and took my shower. And while I'm in the shower room, I'm thinking to myself that, yeah, when I go back to my room, I'm an 86 myself. Yeah, the spirit of depression was so heavy on me because at the time there was a lot of windows and portals that I had opened up due to already being angry and mad. Remember, I told you I was studying, I was practicing, and there was a lot of things that I was doing on the darker side of the realm of things to try to hurt, harm, and as well as doing things I ain't supposed to be doing. Let's say that much. And that could have contributed to me feeling the way I was feeling. But I had my mind made up. I think I must have been in the shower, grieving, and I must have even been shedding some tears because the realization of what I'm about to do is what I was about to do. May the God's curse if I lie. So y'all, I'm in the shower washing up. Made my mind made up. When I leave this shower room, I'm going in this room and I'm gonna do what I have to do. I ain't gonna tell you what it is I was gonna do. I think it's too graphic. As I'm walking out, dried off, got a shower, dried off, leaving, about to head up the stairs to go to my room. On my way, going to my room, before I get to the stairs, I hear the sergeant say, Ashley, to the officer station. Ashley, to the officer station. Man, what this about? Turn around, go to the officer station. Say she say, here, you had some mail. I had some mail. Okay. I look at it and my heart warmed up. I looked at it and a smile crossed my face from ear to ear. Just imagine how they smiled and went all the way to ear. It was my baby sister, Sheena Lockett. He said, Sheena Lockett. I ain't get no correspondence since I was revocated. Nah, that was 2009. Yeah. I didn't get no correspondence. Other than I told you for what I been through, what I had been through. With going through what I went through with my ex at that time. So anyway, but yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm puzzled, I'm amazed. I open it up, I see her pretty little handwriting. Now mind you, this is my baby sister. I haven't seen her because I spent the majority of my life in prison. I was in senior boys, I was waived to the adult system. After I did my time in the adult system, as a juvenile, as I did my time in DT, detention, senior boys, I didn't get a chance to really get out because I kept fighting. But, well, I ain't get into a fight. The times I was finna get into a fight, they bring him in, they rushed in. And I end up getting into it with the staff there, folded him up and put him up against the wall, and they put me on no movement, so I really didn't get a chance to interact. So it was a lot of anger that I had inside me. Now mind you, even when I was in, I was too much in loco mode. I don't care nothing about nobody, whatever. So yeah, I was looking at this letter, opening it up, reading it, and it's like I could hear her voice. I just read, yeah, you probably didn't think, you probably forgot you had a little sister. Showed me her picture, warmed my heart up, and it's like, yeah, it's your sister Sheena. You probably forgot you ain't have a sister. Man, that put a smile on my face, warmed my heart, and that stopped me. I didn't even have the thought anymore to want to do any of that. That depression of shamanic, demonic spirit left me because love and a goal, a focus, I want to one day see my sister. She cared about me enough to acknowledge her big brother, one of her medium brothers. So I was happy, I was elated. Nah, I ain't doing that. Man, I got a sister I gotta go home to, you hear me? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, my baby says she model. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? She infinitely got that Ashley gene. So I was happy. My thoughts changed, my focus changed, because the divine said, nah, this ain't meant for you. The ancient one said, always listening, always watching. You know what it remind me of? The movie that's on Netflix that y'all gotta watch. I've been watching it. And it's called The Body of Three, or The Three Bodies. Circle, and another circle, that tri-formation. Now mind you, everything dealing with my business and a lot of that dealing with the tribe. You know, tribe. When I say tribe, I'm talking about three. Past, present, and future. The future. And even so ironic that the guy who was one of the three who was connected to the UN, I ain't give it away, but I gotta tell you this. They say these three are the three that these extraterrestrial beings, they discovered that they can't read their minds. But these three, some Asian man, I think an Indian or African woman, Indian woman, and this dude, Duan.
Sharing that with no one.
You have it on mute. Sharing that with no one. With the time right. Miss that. And they show after the ancient Buddha name for meditators. These wayfarers will be granted great authority, allowing them to execute all resources as long as they violate no international laws. Now, on behalf of the United Nations, the First Wayfarers General who books on military history and taught around the world. Now, they all at the UN. Both the winnings. I can't really read it peacefully. The second wall facer is Professor Leah. Probably be relating the name. But there's 3 people. She has exceptional experience fighting and winning. Read it because my caption's so blurry. And final, the third one, Saul Duran. That's the name. He all perplexed, like, yeah, I ain't gonna tell no more of the movie, man. Y'all gotta watch it.
And what's so ironic about it, they communicate telepathically. And the same name, Duran is the name that my lady friend at the time used to call me. Still call me even to this day. Even though we're in an open relationship. She don't say Daron because I be mutilating her name at times. Yeah. It's the same name that they have that they call Saul. Now mind you, remember, Saul in the Bible, Saul of Tarsus, used to go around killing the believers, the Christians, as they call it in the so-called New Testament. Now, mind you, Saul changed and become from Saul to Paul. You see, Paul started the New Testament. This is how you got your Acts from Paul. It's not Saul who changed from Saul to Paul. But they used Saul, which was the enemy to Christians, with the last name Daron. I'm gonna put it in there so y'all can see his name and what they call him. See, the ancient ones and those in Hollywood know a lot more about those on the planet. Now, they said to him, they said that you might not know your importance. You might not know who you are and what you are. You might not want to accept it being a wall facer. That means those who telepathically communicate, they will run the world. They will communicate telepathically because, as they say, extraterrestrial beings cannot read your mind. But we know, on the contrary, that these beings from different planets are more superior and they can do a lot more than just read your mind. For me, it's a little bit brainwashing. It's to change you from seeing beings in good light to have you think negative to beings from different planets. It's a good movie. I ain't gonna shit on it. I recommend y'all watch it. It's hot. It's worth seeing, man. Check it out. Moral to the story: failure is not an option, man. We go down standing up, persist with persistence. You know what I mean? I don't think that what's meant for you is meant for you. What's not meant for you is not meant for you. If it's meant for you to ascend, to cut your life short, and you go to that upper room, it's gonna happen. Sadly, a lot of people have. During my time as spending 7 years in Green Bay, so many people have committed suicide. Jumped off the top tier. When I first got there in 92, a Caucasian boy jumped off the top tier. He was scheduled to get out, go home. That day he was supposed to go home. He knew he had no place to go home to. Jumped off the back tier, fell up, busted his head on E tier. Or was that A tier? South Cell Hall. Happened on South Cell Hall. So E, F, G, H. So he jumped off H tier and busted his head. Had all his belongings in his bag. Busted his head. And I had just got there. So, ask the Most High to show you some signs. Ask the Most High to give you strength. Look to spirituality. Don't give up within yourself. Fight with all your willpower, because after hardship comes ease. If it happened for me, it can happen for you. I believe a lot of us who might have a little bit of favor, we happen to be just the lights to show that these things that happen to us can happen to you, and will happen to you. Because we are nothing but an example. Your prophets, your so-called prophets, your so-called messengers, all these are examples. The pharaohs, we represent examples to the people, to show you the divine source, to show you what route you need to take to be helped to become illuminated much more. Okay? Ponder, meditate. By all means, try and even try harder. You know what I mean? When you think like you ain't finna get this job, you go get the job and the door closed. You go for another job, you apply for another job, the door closed. But right when you feel like giving up, you say, you know what, I'm gonna go to this job. And they close that door on you. But all of a sudden, you get a call. The job that you least expected say, hey, you know what? We reconsider. We think you'll be a perfect fit. Come back for another interview or Come back. We want to hire you from the job. Why? As it says, sometimes you being watched, you being monitored by the divine source just to see just how well you could do under pressure. And under pressure, when you feel like you about to boil and crack, the eye on the stove turned down and it cooled down so you can realize at that point when you felt like giving up, the Most High been here for you. The Most High was there for you. All the things that you thought gave up on you was there for you. That letter that I received was the letter that stopped me from going to a place of desolation or going to a dry desert with no water. I was about to take myself out. Why? Because I done been in so much that I felt like I had enough. I couldn't do it. The spirit of negativity was in me. It was saturating. It was choking me and it wanted me. But the divine said, you know what? This is not meant for you. This calling for you is more powerful than what it is you trying to do and get to. It's not meant to. What you going in the future and what's planned for your life, you can't see it. But on the end, it's better than what you think is going to happen to you right now. On the end, you can't see what's happening on the end because you still stuck in the middle. Because on the end, you know, they say, yo, you got some ends in your pocket because there's gain, there's financial gain, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Not necessarily talking about that which is in your pocket, but we talking about the ends that financially, mentally, you are financially being tuned in to something that's rich within yourself, spiritually. We look for money. We look for gold. The divine look to purify us like gold, to go through the fire, to be purified. Just like that diamond that's in the earth that went through so much pressure. People of melanated descent and even other people in different places around the world, whatever ethnicity you are. But diamonds being in Africa, where people of melanated descent roam this earth, carbon-based, up under the sun, the energy from them, the rays within them, that's saturating them, that energy that allowed that coal to become a diamond, the pressure of the sun, of these sun beings. Because ain't no place in the world that had those diamonds but in Africa. Let's talk truth to life. Everybody has a diamond within them. And even if you haven't reached your diamond, you still look cold. Because every ethnicity has black in them. Even you Caucasians who think you don't have no melanin in you, you do. Look in the mirror, look at your eyes. I said this before. Look in the mirror, look at your eyes. You're going to see that pupil. That's melanin. That little black that you see in your eyes is melanin. Anything black that's in you that they said that you are 3/5. If you have any black in you, they say you 3/5. You have any black, well, your eyes everything in this creation, aquatic, wherever, have black within that eye, which is melon, the pupil. Even life forms have the pupil. Name an aquatic or anything that's in creation that don't have black or that black pupil. Because every one of us is a pupil. This pupil, we learn it inside the temple. We can't see what is at the end is really not the end, because the end is really the beginning, as in the word end, E-N-D. Because what you think is the end is really the beginning, because the end is nothing more than a Z. And there's a Z that's inside you, and that's the 7 with the 1 at the end. You done been debased, you done been on the ground, you done been lowered. The Z is nothing more than a what? The Z is nothing more than an N. That 7 stand upright. That 7 is able to raise its head above the heavens, as are you. Raise your head up when you feel like giving up. Raise your head up, say, you know what? I'ma stick it through. I'ma listen to Amir. I'ma listen to Amen. If you don't believe in yourself, allow me to believe for you that I know good things are coming for you, better things are coming for you. Failure is not an option. The divine love you, the ancient ones love you, and I love you. 1.